Welcome to episode 142 with the Herpin Harbins. Yay! We're here to talk about Dallas for the cool people who sell colubrids, the colubrid perspective. And then I did invite John Feely for a strictly ball python perspective only, but he said his wife might yell at him, so he could show up later. We respect all wives' opinions of what their husbands should or should not be doing at any time. So if he shows up, that'll be cool. If not, that's also very cool. All right. Let's try to do a sponsor shout out coherently. Not good at it though. VetDNA.com. Chad was there. I saw him in the parking lot, drove by and rolled down my window and meowed. I don't think he knew who I was.
That's awesome. I didn't even know he was there. I would have gone and talked to him. So.
I know. It was hard to talk to anybody. So
you're right.
Yeah. But VetDNA.com, use code SHITHAPPENS for $5 off the crypto panel. Thank you, VetDNA. Thank you, Chad. I'll see you one day later. So busy. Shane Kelley, Small Town Xotics. What is he doing? His season's pretty much over. Let's look at his morph market for fun facts. A little bit. Sells a little bit of ball pythons, doing his thing. I don't think he has an auction up currently. Ball pythons, hognose. He's getting into boas. He can't resist the boa draw. Shane Kelley, Small Town Xotics. We're shout out ever.
This year, I expect some good ones out of him. So.
Storm clouds.
Not storm clouds, but he's got some really pretty axanthic and some extreme red albino. I'm hoping he's producing something that he got from us a couple years ago. So he should have some pretty stuff. He really concentrates on really saturated red albino, and then of course snow and axanthic. So pretty stuff. Thank
you, Shane Kelley, Small Town Xotics. I wonder if he'll be here tonight. It's night enough for him to hypothetically be here.
Maybe.
It's all right. Stoneage Ball Pythons, Justin Brill, our Pacific Northwest breeder of ball pythons focusing on clown pied. He'll be at the Pac Noirs in Hillsboro this weekend, so they're probably setting up now. So check him out, and also check out Andrew Boring of Powerhouse Pythons, ball pythons, leopard geckos, rodents, gopher cocoa, and he's working with Stimson's pythons. Stuff in the incubator. Both of our Pacific Northwest boys are very fun and cool. Produce many nice snakes. Check them out this weekend. Great Family Snakes, our beautiful, lovely Alabama family focusing on VPI, Axanthic, Pied, DG combo stuff. That's their aesthetic. We love that. Thank you, Great Family Snakes, for sponsoring the podcast. And Chris at Reptilia, our most species intensive sponsor. He's got all kinds of stuff coming. Just a laundry list. Those old price sheets with a bunch of stuff on it and $2.10 or corn snake by the foot. That's Chris at Reptilia. I'm kidding.
I like it. Yeah. Get ours out and measure them.
Yeah. You remember when they used to do that?
Yeah. I've still seen people post that stuff too.
Yeah.
Measure them.
It's crazy.
I don't want to pull them up through all the ruler. That's hard.
Yeah. Chris, Reptilia, thank you for sponsoring. How are we recovering, Josh and Alicia? Just in general,
it's been a week. I mean, luckily we got back Monday. We broke it up and we went and visited family friends. I mean, they're kind of family. They're friends, but in Meridian, Mississippi on the way home, and then we got back Monday evening, reasonable hour, unloaded all the animals, made sure everybody had water, all that kind of stuff, and then the next morning we woke up and started cleaning rodents, and then went through full deep clean on everybody.
Everybody got full cleaning.
Yeah, everybody got
snakes,
fed. It was a lot, but we got all that caught up, which we needed to all in that day. And then both of us went back to work Wednesday morning, bright and early, and we've just been, typical. My job is just, I could say bad words, but it's rough, and so it's been a rough week. I could say it. It's been a rough week at just trying to kind of get some rest after all that, and kind of coming off a high and an excitement of traveling and having a good weekend, and then just getting back to the normal grind. But
that drive's a bit of a hoof too. That just being in a car that long is grueling.
Yeah.
What's the drive for You guys?
12 and a half hours.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't enough Buc-ee's. There was only like one Buc-ee's, and it was pretty much in Dallas. So
Yeah.
But the
we
one
didn't
in
have-
Plano?
we didn't make stops along the way just to break it up.
Yeah, I live technically near Buc-ee's, but I had never been to one either because there's not one on my way into Dallas, like Fort Worth.
There's a couple nearby here now, and we've done those because they're near here. But there's 4 between here and Daytona, and we do all 4 of them, even though the 4th one is 15 minutes from the hotel. We always stop. And then there's some in Alabama, and we kind of, I guess, mentally anticipated doing more going to Texas, but just the route, we only passed one going in and one coming out. So I was like, oh well, we did it though. We got our magnet, and we.
If you've
moved
seen
on.
one, you've seen them all.
They all look
They're all
alike.
the exact same.
They're just super efficient. I think we're both like efficiency experts, and we're like, okay, how do they do all this and keep everything stocked and keep everything cleaned? And so we just appreciate that kind of place, even though it's
There's
little
a gas pump
overwhelming.
open somewhere, and there's a bathroom stall open
Always
at
clean.
all times.
Always
so
clean.
if
So,
you're looking to stop.
Yeah, I love that. The place I stop, it's like a Buc-ee's light, but it's not Buc-ee's branded. It's got a barbecue thing in it. It's got a shake and steak or shake, whatever that brand is, the burger place, and a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
Shake and steak. Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. That sounds right.
Yeah, it's I don't whatever. But it's got dinosaurs outside. That's why I
Oh,
stopped.
okay, that's fine.
I'm
Yeah,
just like
check that out.
right in front of like the Tesla charging thing is dinosaurs, and I'm like, let's go ride on the dinosaurs.
Go sit on a dinosaur for a bit.
That's every time. It's like it's pretty weird. Maybe I should. They're like, what is this adult ass woman doing with the
Hanging out with
dinosaurs
dinosaurs.
every time?
I doubt you're the only one.
Oh my gosh.
How long was your drive?
So mine's not bad. It's like 3.5 hours.
Oh, geez, that's not bad at all.
Nice.
Okay, yeah.
That's why, even though I'm very optimistic about the Denver show, because the Denver show and the next Dallas show are the same date, I re-upped for Dallas.
Yeah.
Because it's just like is my home show, you know?
It's really close, it sounds like. And I think, I mean, we went ahead and signed up for Dallas too. Even before we really got started, we decided we were going to do it again. And then we were confirmed within a few hours, we were definitely going to do it again because we had a good weekend. So, and I don't know, I don't know when or if we'll ever get into Tinley, but I feel like that's kind of like a stepping stone. If we're going to be in with NARBC, that's the one we're going to do. Outside of Tinley, if we could ever get into Tinley. So I felt like,
is Tinley closer to you?
Yes, it's about 8.5 hours. Yeah, much closer.
Okay.
Definitely. I mean,
It's still a full day.
It's still a full drive. I mean, we broke that one up last time too. We drove like one evening and then drove the rest of the way in first thing in the morning. But it's a lot more doable than 12.5 hours. So, but we don't plan on doing St. Louis. Mainly because Missouri's kind of a pain with hognose laws, and then we're not going to do Schaumburg if we can't do Tinley. So basically, Dallas and Tinley are the ones that we're looking at trying to get in rotation along with Daytona, which Daytona I think is still going to be our primary one. As far as
Daytona too, I don't know, competitive colubrid wise, or is it fine?
Yeah, there are definitely a lot more colubrids there, and there's a lot more hognose there. But even us little podunk people, we still sell a lot of hognose there, even with some of the big guys in the building. And so I feel like there's still enough of a hognose demand and colubrid demand. I mean, we sold quite a few corn snakes that last show.
I was thinking corns. There's not heavy corn presence there. But
but we did good with corns and hogs last year. And we sold 0 ball pythons. And so it's like, I might even bother these ball pythons in Daytona. Like, not when you're sitting up down the road from all the people that are there also. But we might take some of our higher end stuff.
Display.
Yeah. But I think, you know, like just even comparing like Daytona to this Dallas, because we've never technically vended Tinley. Now we went in, we were vendors under Tom's in October, Tinley. And so that was our first experience there, but we didn't take any of our stuff. We just helped them set up, and we stood behind the tables and helped them sell things. So we did sell things while we were there. We're just selling Tom's stuff. And so we got an experience as a vendor, but from what I understand, comparably, it was a very small Tinley compared to previous Tinleys, which kind of makes sense. Last fall was not the height of the ball python craze, but I know Tom still moved a lot of hognose and all the corns that he had, he sold out of, and he moved quite a few ball pythons. But comparing it, this Dallas to that Tinley, I still think there was a lot of different variety at this Dallas, don't you think?
Yeah.
Compared to Tinley. So
to March Tinley of
to
2024.
October, we didn't go to
Okay,
March.
23. Okay.
Yeah, October. Yeah.
All right,
So-
let's start at the beginning. What do you think about the new? Did you ever go to Arlington previously?
So we
So
had
you
no
have-
comparison
okay.
at all, but from what a few people I talked to, they felt like the building had more space in it, but I don't know. I mean,
100%.
okay,
Especially if you like looked at that other room,
yeah, it's
it
huge.
could be ginormous. I don't know. I don't even know the size of the building, but probably like 80,000 square feet or something
A lot.
crazy.
Yeah, it's a lot. And they were aren't they talking about maybe extending it into that part of the building next time? Okay.
But if it's, I don't know, it's one of those like, if the demand is there. So like, I heard, these are all rumors, by the way. So don't fire me or cancel or the Harbins, don't cancel them either. But I heard that when city council was there and they were so impressed and happy that they were like, I'm going to really try to change the law. So non-ball
same thing.
python.
Yep.
Okay. So
Yeah,
if that happens and all those people can come back to Vend,
That should
we
have a
should
much higher-
open the other part.
Yeah. I would
Right.
think so. But I heard the same thing, and it sounded very positive that the council person, this council lady, was there and just was shocked with the presentation. I think people have this mindset, and so it did sound like it was really positive that they were going to go back to the city and try to get everything opened up, at least for the sales, possibly. Yeah. So that's a good bonus. I mean, we stayed at the Holiday Inn, and we like inexpensive places. It wasn't the fanciest place in the world, but I don't care. I mean,
The shower worked, and
the shower worked. I had a bed. I don't give a crap. You know,
I didn't see any bed bugs.
no, I didn't get.
That's all I really care about.
I mean, that's how I feel about it.
I did get lost in that weird triangle shaped hotel.
I went around it like 3 times. I was like, is this a fucking glitch?
Like, where the hell am I at? But like for $105 a night, plus it had a okay breakfast. I mean, we're again not big breakfast, and we're not going to go out and have a big mega breakfast or anything. But it had, bacon. I eat bacon all day. I'd love bacon, and so they have bacon and eggs and stuff like that. It wasn't just that, a little toaster and junk out of the fridge.
Right.
I'm like, that saved us time and money not having to go out and do that. And I know people stayed at the Radisson, the Renaissance.
Renaissance.
That was a little bit pricier. Of course, they had
about double, right?
Yeah. Oh, easily double. And
I felt poor walking around that hotel.
Yeah.
That's not my crowd.
Yeah. And that's where they had the auction, which the auction room was significantly smaller than the Tinley auction room. But
it was tiny.
That was probably one of the downfalls, is the auction could not have live animals.
Right. That part was tough.
That was rough. But I mean, I bought some mantids. So I bought something that was live.
We bought the only creatures in the room.
Yeah. So
I donated a slap bracelet. I have no idea what it even went for because I love.
Nice. Yeah.
I was just like, I don't know what. I'm assuming like only joke things will sell well. So like I didn't. I don't know. I would have donated like animals. I usually just like do a pair of corn snakes.
Yeah.
For every, but I.
See, I wondered if you could donate a certificate to animals.
Store credit.
Yeah, they did have some certificates, and I think they had some on the tables, but then they had some that people were bidding. So there were certificates there that you could donate. Some of them were like a year, expiration, and some of them were like weekend, like Sunday. You have You get
you had
you
to
know,
go get it.
you get 25% off whatever's on the table, but this ends on Sunday. So I mean, you kind of had to be mentally prepared the next day. You're going to go have to buy something, and so that's kind of. I mean, I guess that's one way to get a for sure sale of something, but then also make a donation at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Especially if you could, like, I don't know, make it a fun certificate somehow.
Yeah. Some kind of
like
cool,
cross stitch it into a pillow. I don't know. You bring this pillow back.
Yeah.
But you can still have it, but
yeah, keep the pillow, but you can get a discount or something.
Right.
But
that sounds more fun.
Of course they had, alcohol and, things, different kind of reptile things. I mean, they had a decent supply of stuff considering they couldn't do the live animals, but it definitely, I think it did show that overall there was not as much money brought in that night as I've heard of,
It was still 27 grand.
That that wasn't there to begin with. So that's something.
Mm-hmm.
But and I mean, they had kind of heavy hors d'oeuvres. I would consider that, wouldn't you? I mean, it was more than just little snacks. So they had food available for us at the.
Did it start at 6 or 7?
It technically started at 6, and they were going to open it up to like at 5:30 for viewing and food. But honestly, people were over there at like 5:15, and they weren't stopping people. So.
Yeah. So at the end of Saturday, I was sleepy sad. So like we just spirited away off to dinner collectively after like going to the hotel to change. So, and I did want to go look at it, but I was like, I don't know. It maybe it'd be like, I don't want to like complain about things not being perfect because like who cares? But like, in a perfect world, all the restaurants would be walking distance from the hotel, which is walking distance from the venue, which is walking distance from a bar, downtown district. That's like a fantasy situation. I don't think that's ever going to happen because you still need parking and access to the interstate. So all of those things together are mutually exclusive.
Yeah, and if you're in a convention center that's that accessible to other things, it's probably going to be even more expensive than what they would want to shell out.
Exactly. So. And this is the one, I found this that Aquashella is in. The Aquatics big show. It's in that exact building. I didn't know that. I was like, oh, this is good enough for hundreds of thousands of dollars of reef people.
Yeah, they're dropping money left and right,
Right.
So, I don't know. I think there was plenty of parking.
Yeah.
And
I heard people complaining about the parking. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's free.
Yeah.
The whole parking building shelter thing was free.
Oh, that's
and it wasn't up a hill.
Exactly. Yeah.
At the last Arlington, it was the like over. It was $10 for one spot. Wow. So if you had a trailer, it was $20. And if the overflow lot was literally up a hill in 100-degree Texas weather in summer, and you're like, it is nice here.
Yeah, we were
getting in and out. Loading in was nice because they opened up all the doors around the side, so you can park kind of near wherever your table was going to be.
Yeah.
Time dragging stuff around.
The other difference was there's a bathroom inside of the venue, not like outside of the venue through doors. So people didn't have to like physically disengage with the experience just to go potty.
That's nice. That's a good thing.
Yeah. Because a lot of times people would like sit.
Too.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, like, not just the bathrooms, but the food in the building where people
the building.
Yeah, like that's huge.
They had ice cream.
Like the last one, like the last building, and it was nice, but it was like you had to walk outside of the hall, and there was a long hallway with bathrooms and whatever. But then you're like, you can see the exits, so like they might be like, well, I don't want to spend $500 on that snake today, so like I'll just run away. I just went pee, and now I can escape. They can't escape. Yeah. They're trapped inside.
They're trapped inside the building. I like it. It's true. I mean, you think about it, they just go to the bathroom and then there's still animals right there and they just keep wandering. And so
it's incentive to keep going after being refreshed in the middle.
Yeah.
So I was into that. So nice. Do you think you would want the Renaissance Hotel next time?
I mean, I don't.
If it was about half the price they were asking for it,
Yeah, I mean, we take
proximity would be convenient, so you wouldn't have to
Yeah.
drive. You just
Right, you could leave your car parked at the hotel,
right there at
lot
the
or
edge.
wherever.
I mean, if it wasn't so ridiculous, I think we would stay there.
I think Brian Carter told us he priced it out. It was for the 4 nights was going to be right at $1,400.
That's a lot.
Yucky.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I mean, considering he ended up staying at the Holiday Inn for, whatever for 420 plus your, tax was, I mean, $500 the most. And so, for the same amounts, I mean, that's something you have to take into consideration when you're really trying to make a profit margin occur on these shows is like, how much are you willing to spend on a hotel that you're really just hopefully taking a nap and taking a shower and getting up and going back out to work is how I see it.
That's all we do.
And so, I don't know. It's a little bit different mindset that way, but I guess all the years of showing dogs, like I always tried to find the most inexpensive hotel that I could literally go pass out, change my clothes, take a shower, and get the heck back out to what I had to do. So I don't look at the hotel as my luxury item, or I'm not going to be sitting in the hotel doing stuff. I'm going to be out hanging out.
Like Daytona, you can pay for the oceanfront view.
Yeah,
that
that's
makes sense
cool.
to splurge to see the water and a sunrise. But Dallas, Texas sunrise downtown. I don't know.
Yeah, there was a really cool paper towel lady in the women's bathroom. Was there a men's paper towel dude?
Self-serve in there.
Yeah, she was really nice. Like I didn't even have to get near the paper towel dispenser. She just had it ready while I was washing my hands.
Does that mean like women are gross and they're like, these dumb women are going to throw their paper towels all over the floor? And so we need to put an attendant in there to like.
I thought it was kind of interesting. I've never seen that done like at a convention center situation like that.
What if the paper towel dispenser was like out of batteries and they just thought, well, let's just grab.
No, it wasn't. You could like, if you waved by it real quick, she would turn on and she'd be like, no, here.
Yeah, she'd yell at you and make sure you got the paper towel from her.
It'd be funny if she didn't even work there. She just snuck in and like, scanned a bunch of tips off people all day. I might try that next time.
You want to try it? You want to go in the ladies' bathroom and get?
No, with the guys.
And the guys, you're going to
get the T-shirt with the tuxedo.
I don't think that's going to work.
Like
for
sell
you.
some cologne. That'd be awesome.
Oh, jeez.
So, a lot of the ball python vendors were kind of sad. Did you think that the audience was different than a Tinley audience?
It seemed like it. Yeah, it seemed like it to me. Okay. It definitely seemed a lot of pet people that didn't even, some of them, I think I talked to at least 5 different people that literally were getting their first snake. So that's not a Tinley audience to me. And like asking us about species differences and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, I always watch Tom too, because Tom is the one that's going to pull in all the breeders to look at his stuff. And I mean, yes, there were breeders there. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't like Tinley, when we set up with him, as far as the people asking him stuff and coming by and looking at things and stuff like that. So I definitely think it was a more pet crowd and a very young pet crowd, as far as some people were just really full on newbies to it, which I was cool with. I mean,
yeah, I think that's part of what played the difference in people's fortunes this weekend. Because I think you said it on Adam's show, but it was also my best show ever.
Yeah.
Also,
it was our
so
best.
Like some people, if you only brought really high end stuff and it was only high end ball pythons, you were competing quite aggressively with other people for the limited number of like breeder buyers, and they were there.
Yeah,
but if you bought pet stuff, it was very easy for them to be like, $200 corn steak, okay, whatever, or hog nose.
Hog nose, yeah, no big deal. Yeah, it's. I think that's what we saw is, and I think I don't know. I feel pretty happy with just the range of what we sold. I mean, we sold straight up like little pet things, like new early breeders, and then to some breeders, like in all the species. And so I'm like, that to me, I don't know, that made me feel kind of good that even the breeders were coming to us about stuff. And so that kind of made my day, at least when we sold stuff like that. So
was Tom, I talked to Tom at breakfast for like a hot second. Was he, it's hard to ask this like politely. I'll just do it. Whatever. I don't know. Was he happy? Like, it's a long drive. It's a lot of expenses. And then you're like, what do we do with like predicting if like the high-end ball python buying market comes back to Dallas? Do they keep going? Do they keep nurturing it? Or do we just assume that it all goes to Tinley and this becomes like the mega super awesome pet show?
Yeah, I think what he didn't sell a ton of ball pythons. Now he cleared out a lot of high-end hognose. I mean, he did
That's
well for the weekend as far
He
as
sold over like half his hogs that he brought, I think.
and I mean he had storm cloud stuff there. So I mean I think he still had a good profit margin, but he did not move as many ball pythons as I expected him to move. And I didn't pay a complete amount of attention. I didn't see a lot of monarch moving, and that's his project, obviously, as far as his big push. So I do think at Tinley, comparably, when I remember seeing monarchs going off the table, quite a few, and I didn't see that at this show. So there was definitely a different style of purchasing at this show. But I think he still was happy with his overall sales.
That's good.
Because mainly because the hognose, it was really on it. And he's told us multiple times, you've got to go to Texas. You got to go to Texas. You'll sell hognose. And he was right. He was right.
Did you apply for your own table for the next one? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get an inline or corner or?
We're in line with Tom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he has an end cap and we just put it all together and we're in line with him. So.
Okay.
And we just got one table and he doesn't necessarily need all his tables. So we'll probably just, again, use like part of one of his tables. We basically put his hognose and our hognose like all together. Okay. So that if he was busy talking ball pythons, and I mean, I did help him with his hognose as far as when people came up, I could talk to them and then he could,
and
we
know his stuff. So
we know his stuff. So I mean, and we've been doing that with him for years. Is a lot of times we'll cover the hognose. His mom will cover the corn snakes, and then Tom's covering the high-end ball pythons. And so it allows everybody to kind of disperse their abilities.
That's kind of what drew us all into this. I guess 4 or 5 years ago, Dad was going to do like a Repticon in Atlanta. And he said, hey, y'all want to just come down and visit? We're like, yeah, we'll drive down. And me and Alicia were behind the tables, like slinging snakes too.
Yeah.
And after the show, he's like, that's my best show I've ever had down here. Y'all should get into this. Right? Okay.
Yeah. And I think it allowed us to kind of all separate up. And then like if somebody was like, we talked to him about the hognose and we'd explain things, we'd help them like pick out pairings and stuff like that. And then once they're like, okay, we want these two. And then I was like, okay, Tom, come over here. He would finish it up, so it kind of worked out. And we learned how to talk to people. We learned what kind of questions they were going to have about the different species. And we already kept those species at that point. It's just the hognose were the ones that we were breeding. And so now when we're at the shows together, we do the same thing. We all kind of divide and conquer, and it allows us to be able to kind of sell things more. Like your mom is super comfortable with the corn snakes.
Yeah.
I would say, and he's extremely comfortable with corn. He's extremely comfortable with all of it, but especially the corn snakes, his mom will just take over the corn snake area and just go to town. She's just really comfortable with that.
Cleans, man, she loves cleaning.
She loves making sure those tubs are clean. Clean the containers. So.
Are you going to Slidell?
No, we've been to the Slidell with Tom before, and
I'd love to go back. That's a good show.
That's we love that show. It was really awesome.
I'd go down there just for the food.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It just kind of depends on like.
I think 2025 will kind of be our big year where we can get out on the road. I think her workload's
unless my boss just hacks me off one more good time, and I'm just about over his crap.
I'm still around, so I'm doing something right. But
good job.
Got that guy.
Yeah, he's on the chopping block right now. But I do think like at the end of this year, if our numbers are where they could still be, I mean, if we could pull off Slidell in December, we would do that one. That was
how far away is Slidell from you?
It ends up being 9 hours?
Yeah.
Because we go down to his parents' place just south of Montgomery. That's about a 5.5 hour drive. And then we all load up together and ride with Tom, which by the way, take a Dramamine. Holy crap. And
I'm used to it. I grew up with
Yeah, he
that
grew up,
driving.
and I'm like, you're gonna have to sit in the front. And I'm gonna have to sit in the front because he's getting us there. I mean, I tell you, we're gonna get there. But I think it's like another like 4.5 hours once we leave Montgomery. Isn't that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Tom has like a bougie van. I'm like super jealous of it.
it's a nice one.
We want one. We've got like a little Grand Caravan, which works great right now, but I want some more space.
It is nice the way he's got it set up in there. He's got
He built some racks for like all those little displays click in. Snaps down.
Oh, that's cool. That's even cooler.
Yeah, and he's got the second seat in there, so there's room for us to sit and stuff like that too.
Yeah, like there's a lot of. So, obviously, I've complained about shows a lot. So I won't do that
You're good
anymore.
at it.
But if shows are good, there's got to be ways to optimize them to be better. You know, like you pick the right show for your animals. You bring the right animals of many animals to that show, hypothetically, and then like you make the vehicle fit that you're doing a reptile show. So I don't know. You know, I thought I was like, should we get a sleeper van? And like,
I know we looked at
with
those.
some
There's
carpet.
like, you have like your own like AC or heater built into it. It's got a little bed in the back.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe
need a full RV. Like we're not living
No, but
in
it's
it.
like a little one of those small van ones would be perfect. You just park outside the show site.
I don't have to shower, but I do have to shave every day.
Yeah.
So if I just had a sink, I'm good. I don't even need a shower.
I don't know what they call those camping vans like that.
Yeah, they have like the little like
Yeah.
the captain's chairs in the front, and you have like you can lay the back ones down. You can put snakes in there, like your displays and stuff.
Yeah, it would be perfect. I don't know. We've talked about stuff like that too, but we've got just an old a Grand Caravan that all the seats fold down into the floor, and so it's a flat that you could put like an 8x4 in there. And he built
most people say 4x8.
4x8, whatever. And he put like a elevated.
We made a platform to get the displays up off the floor because on the floor is where all the heat vents pop out.
Mm-hmm.
So now the animals are up near like chest level for us. So then we can slide stuff under there. It really helped maximize space. I was surprised at how much that helped.
Yeah.
I stole that idea from Dad.
Yeah.
But you could also bring like, I don't know, blow up mattress. And once you set up all the snakes, roll out the
We
blow
did
up
that when we were
mattress.
young and broke. We did some camping out there.
Oh, I don't know how back we handle it anymore. Oh.
Now that's where we need at least a Holiday Inn.
Yeah, at least a bare minimum Holiday Inn for sure.
Oh man. I love I like a lot of ball python people, so I did feel bad a lot if they only had ball pythons to sell.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah,
bless
That's
your
rough.
hearts, little buddies.
Yeah. That I don't feel like I saw people walking around with a lot of ball pythons,
No.
in their cups.
Yeah.
Or
There was a
anything.
mega shit ton of mantis orchids. Somebody was selling, making bank, because some little kid was like, "You want to trade this for a corn snake?" I'm like, I don't know how to take care of that, so no, but thank you. But then I just saw like a trillion of them, just little baby
Little
mantis
tiny
orchids.
Yeah. There was several people with manids there.
Were you across from a spider person? Am I crazy? Like long ways?
If they were,
I don't
it must have
think
been no, because the people right across from us were one of the
Was that Triple L Reptile?
Triple L, I think, was right across from us, and then the other people right behind us across from us were all ball python people, and then right next to us was
Balls and Strikes was right
or
behind
right
us.
corner of us. So now I don't remember.
Okay, sorry.
I don't remember them.
I did see several of the spider people though.
Yeah.
I just wanted to be curious if they did good in some spider way. I don't know.
I don't
Like
know.
Spider Shop came all the way down from the Pacific Northwest.
Wow. No way.
I kind of
like-
wish they would do an exit interview when people are leaving the show. Just politely ask, like, "Hey, we're curious. What did you buy for your time? Here's a free sticker or something. Make it worth them stopping, just so we would know what's doing well and what's not doing well."
Right, because it's, I don't know. There's definitely like a selection bias here, where if you're hearing an interview of all ball python breeders, you might be like, "I'm never going there. It's not worth vending." Yeah, but you might have other species, so like, you could still take ball pythons because you sold some ball pythons, right?
Oh yeah, we sold 4.
Yeah,
We sold
that's
25
pretty good.
animals and 4 ball pythons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's good for us because, I mean, like I said, last year when we went to Daytona, we didn't take as many ball pythons, but we sold 0 there. So, I mean, I think.
But we don't know who's going to walk through the door. So we've got to take the gamut of what we have available and spread it out and see what they want.
Yeah. Yeah.
I meant to talk to Steve.
Hey, only today, cheeseburgers. I don't care if anybody wants McNuggets.
Right.
You know, they offer the full menu.
Right. Exactly.
I hadn't been to McDonald's in a long time.
Yeah.
I meant to talk to a bunch of people, but a bunch of people were walking by at top speed, or I was walking by at top speed. So there was like very little chance to like snag them unless they came to my table during a lull or something. That part was kind of depressing. I was like, oh my God, we need like a 5-man cell to like watch a single table. So like you can go out and, but like last Arlington, Steve Casino was lamenting that he had brought too many high-end ball pythons as a percentage of his offerings. And he was like, I should have brought more cheaper ones.
Okay.
And I was meant to ask him again if he had like recalibrated and how that went.
Oh,
Never saw him for even a second.
Go figure.
So a trick I've seen Dad do in the past, like he'll have one display of corns so they don't take up too much of his table space. But then underneath the table, he's got a crate of more corns. So up top, he's only got 2 or 3 albinos, but then down below, he's got like 6 more albinos, just in case albinos are hot that time. So
I brought
everything.
Yeah, you're not
2 displays and like 20 fill-ins or something like that. And so I would just refill as they sell. And like, that's the way to do it for little delis anyway, because it doesn't hurt that much. You're going to sell them anyway.
Yeah.
If you have the inventory, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of, and that's what we did. Like we literally, I brought stuff that I hadn't planned on selling. They were actually possible holdbacks. And those are the ones that sold. Of course.
Oh no! In hog category or
hogs, balls, and corns.
Oh, okay.
I brought everything. I was like, you know what? If I'm even got an inkling that we're not keeping it, and he was like, just take it. And I was like, okay. He's like, put a price on it that you'd be okay with it. And I did.
But we've also found like at the show, you're standing behind this table for 2 days straight, good lighting, and staring at these animals.
Yeah.
And in your mind, you can calculate like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
That animal. Then it kind of grows on you. And then every now and then she'll get the paint marker out and just go sold. Yeah. Like it's sold to the Harbins. We're keeping it.
And I stood in front of, and I looked at everything, and I liked a lot of stuff that I was looking at on our table, but then I was like, I don't think we have to have any of this. I did. And I always make sure he looks at it too. Like, is there anything that you just gots to have? And he's like, he's like, no. And I'm like, then they're all for sale. And if I do stare at something long enough, I'll put NFS or sold or something on it. I usually put sold. Right. So I don't like putting NFS on there, but that way I'll just take it home at that point. But it literally was, I think like, it was probably 7 different animals. I was like, I don't know if I should sell this. And those are the ones that sold. Yeah. So I guess
at least now it's like free. You have the money to go buy something in unrelated. Sometimes I think about it that way too. Like,
Yep. I mean, 3 of them were actually axanthic hognose they all were kind of neat in their own way. But
wait, let me interrupt. What's your favorite kind of axanthic hognose? Like, how there's different looks.
So
they were super conda.
Well, there was a conda that was like twin spot conda looking. Yeah. So it's very unusual. We've only had like 3 out of this pairing over the last 4 years that looked like that. There was another axanthic that had almost an Arctic look to it, and another just axanthic. So they were different looking, even though they were clutch mates. And I had kept them back for a little bit, and girls at that. And I was like, you know what? I just need to sell them because you can't inbreed these things. And we already have their big sisters and their big brothers that we go back, and their parents are still breeding. And I'm like, I need to go buy a different axanthic line instead of it's the same thing over and over. So that's when we both decided, hey, as much as we like these, we need to go ahead and let them go. And all 3 of them went to future hognose breeders. So they're going to the right place. So that's good.
Did you get a chance to talk to any other hognose vendors?
Yeah.
I know Clover was there, and just ask them how they felt like they were doing.
I know, like, I think Eslin and Alvaro, I think they did well. And they, as far as I understood, they were still planning to come back again. Now they flew in, and that was crazy. They basically,
That almost ended up
it
bad.
almost was bad. The snakes made it fine, but I think both of their sets of display materials were delayed. Alvaro's finally came in Friday evening. I don't know.
That's crazy.
That's too much. And so they had already decided they're driving the next time. But after talking to them, I felt like they were having a positive weekend. And they came over and thanked us a couple of times for sending stuff to their way that we knew that they had stuff over there. I don't know those other people's name. Your dad knew who they were. He was the guy who had all those Arctic sunbursts. I suck with names.
I talked to Nick Markham in the elevator. I think I talked about that.
But he didn't have that many of his things there, I don't think. He didn't bring a lot.
His son had a lot of corns.
Yeah, I talked to his son a bunch. He was a little corn nerd. I love him. 10 out of 10.
Yeah, well, I sent him over to you at one point. He was asking me something about something. I said, you need to go talk to Jessica.
Right, he was showing me all of his stuff and telling me his projects. I'm like, thank God you exist. I will talk to you all day. Whatever it takes to keep you excited.
He was stoked. And he kept showing us stuff. I'm like, we have corn snakes, but we're not in that deep corn snake morph land like that. I'm like, and then he was going to show Tom stuff. I'm like, he's not going to help you with that either. Like, we don't know what this Aztec stuff is. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, he was excited. I was like, oh my God, thank God there's like a future baby breeders that are like,
he loves those corn
nerds, true corn nerds.
He was
That's the first time I've seen, well, we don't see him once a year anyway, but yeah, his fire was lit. He was excited about that.
He was having
a good. I love him.
Yeah. It's cool.
Not really, not in a creepy way.
No.
You know what I mean.
It's cool to see somebody that into it and then excited about it and then wanting to talk to other people about it and then learn. He's wanting to learn too. But I don't know how well Nick did. I mean, we talked briefly Sunday before he left. He didn't seem too off kilter, but I don't think he had a lot of stuff left from
Nick. Yeah. He told me, I won't reveal the exact numbers, but he did good enough to go good. Let me just rephrase that. Good.
Yeah.
He was happy.
Yeah.
But he didn't sell as much as he had previously. And I'm like, I don't know what that means relative to like what inventory you brought. And he was like, it's fine. And so he was happy. What about, so did you get a chance? I looked at it for like a third of a second. The Corey Martin brought her monitors in these cool displays that were like single cage with cork bark and a light and stuff. One monitor. And they were just like, each monitor had like a thing and they were like tall cages. Did you get to see that?
I think I saw that and I didn't realize that's what was in there. I tried to do a quick lap during setup just to see who was where because we didn't have a map. We didn't know where anybody was.
Me neither. Yeah, everybody's tables got moved. It was all fine in the end.
Yeah.
But like, what's crazy is like, because vendor setup and VIP like perfectly overlap.
Yeah.
You're like, I gotta be on right away. If that's how it felt. Did you all feel that way?
Yeah. I felt a little bit more pressure, especially Saturday. Like there was just no time to like take a breath, make sure everything was ready. And then all of a sudden there's VIP people there and you want to really make sure you're catering to them. I mean, you don't want to just blow them off because those are
as a customer,
good likelihood that they're going to buy because they're already VIP people.
So there's no time to like check poops before someone could come up to talk to you.
And there was definitely no time for you to get your stuff clean, get it set up. You go look at somebody's stuff and then still be ready for VIP. So that was real frustrating. So, but
it was even crazier on Sunday because VIP and the first time a vendor can even be in there is the exact same time. So you're literally walking together.
And they weren't going to let us in at 9:59. It was 10 o'clock.
Right. They're very strict. But like, I know they say like go party or whatever the night before and get wasted. And I don't do that. So I was like trying to get there early on purpose because I knew that was going to happen. But I sold stuff on Friday. I sold stuff, I think, Sunday morning during VIP. So yeah, I absolutely have to be on the whole time, hypothetically.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I did feel like I didn't really get a chance to go talk to people. Like I had all this like images of like me and you hanging out and talking. I'm like,
I know, that would have been nice.
Hello, goodbye. Hello, goodbye. Do you need us to cover your table? Goodbye. It's like, what the hell happened?
Yeah, Marissa and Jennifer were like clutch because I was just like, because they were coming to shop, and I'm like, just watch my table. Fuck it, I don't know, steal something. I don't know, it's fine. Just so like, I don't know how I would have soloed it if Marissa and Jennifer did it because y'all were busy too, so you couldn't even.
Yeah, it was nuts. Yeah, it was. We were busy the whole time. I guess that to me is always a good sign of a show is the flow coming through like that. And I know we talked to a lot of people that, no, they didn't necessarily buy anything, but they took cards. They're going on trips. So like maybe they'll buy something. Maybe they want. We always usually seem to like a week or two after show start getting requests about stuff. And when we talk to people that weren't planning on buying anything because they did have a vacation coming up, they had something coming up, they were wanting to just get information, and we give out care sheets like this is the kind of equipment you probably need to go ahead and buy while you're here because you have your best option. They're like, oh, this is so helpful, we'll go get everything set up and then we can get something when we get back from vacation. It's like, yeah. And I said, we ship. Most of us here ship, so if you find something, just talk to the people, make sure they ship, and you can get it shipped out in the next month or so. So I mean, we'll see how that turns around.
Yeah, I sold a corn steak to a family currently in an RV.
Nice, huh?
And I was like, yeah, probably, put a bin at the heat pad for now. And
the corn, they're fine.
Yeah, they're fine. Just don't I don't know, leave them.
Don't cook
without the AC on.
Yeah,
and I think they had a dog or something, so they do that anyway.
Yeah.
And I was like,
they'll be all right.
Yeah.
They'll be all right. So that's cool. Well, that's pretty cool, though.
Did you eat any of the food from the concession stand? I didn't even eat any. I just was wondering if you thought there was a rating on 1 to 10 of the nacho cheese slurry or whatever.
Well, we saw a lot of people eating the nacho cheese. The only thing we ate was the ice cream from the frozen rodent people.
I think I ate like 4 of them.
We had a lot of ice cream.
That's still funny.
I didn't care if it came out.
Did it come out of the same freezer? Or
Josh said it didn't, but I was like, I don't care if it's laying next to the rats. That's so good.
They got ASF flavor.
I ate that mint chocolate like it was going out of style.
Yeah,
where were they at?
Missouri Rattery.
Yeah, it was actually closer to.
Are those the ones that had live rodents too?
No, they were closer to the bathrooms on the road that I think we were in.
Yeah.
Maybe just not too far from BC Balls. Like they were coming back. Yeah, it wasn't far from y'all actually.
So like a lot of things happened because we were sort of halfway and back.
Yeah.
In the building, and a lot of things existed and were probably fun in the front of the building that I never saw, never interacted with, didn't know happened. So like that's how big it is. It's like you can have a whole ecosystem of vendors living in one section that never seen.
And Josh was trying to explain where you were. He's like, "Oh, that right there, go right past it." Wrong. I was wandering all over the place. I was like, "Where is she?"
She's further down.
She was further away from. You were further than what he described, and I'm like, then I get to your place. I'm like, she's right next to Brian. We're like super good friends with Brian. Like you could have just said he's right next to Brian. I would know where
I should have known better.
Well, I was like behind a curtain, so even if you saw Brian, you wouldn't necessarily have seen me because you had to keep going past a crested gecko vendor.
But at least would have given me a
row
to be on. Yeah, like this level right here. But I finally found you after like 5 circles of like, where is she? And
it's definitely my fault. I should have known better.
I don't.
It would have been nice, like you said, to have a map, but.
I wonder if when we get to these shows, if we all could drop a pin somehow.
That's a good idea.
This, I don't know, geocaching of
pin
snake
drop.
people thing.
Yeah. Speaking of geocaching,
that was fun.
So Friday we actually kind of left on the early side. It's about 5 or so.
We're about to go eat. Mom and Dad, we're trying to figure out where to go meet up to eat some dinner.
Yeah, and so we were, and all of a sudden Dave Levison comes by, and I was like, "Hey man," he's like, "Hey," and he's like, "I can't talk for long. I'm going herping." We're like, well, "Where are you going?"
Where are you going?
He told us this location, and we're like, "Sweet." And I looked at Josh. He's like, "We're going." And so we looked at his parents. We're like, "Let's go out herping."
Cedar Hill State Park, Cedar something State Park.
Yeah.
It's like 20
minutes. Is it pretty close?
It was like 20 minutes south of Dallas. It didn't take us 20, 30 minutes to get there.
See something?
Yeah. And it was we didn't see anything. We didn't get to see any snakes, but we ended up, Josh and I went out to 3 different locations while we were there, just kind of looking at different spots. And then we ended up going to the pond that was on that location, and it was a state park, so you paid to go in and everything.
Mhm.
They had maps and all that kind of stuff. There were people camping, and we went around this duck pond and all this stuff, and we could hear things chirping, and we could only see a bullfrog at one point. But we dug around, picked up a bunch of stuff, never found anything, found some bugs. And as we were leaving, it was like almost 8 o'clock. We're like, we better get out of here. There's Dave. He pulls in. We're like, holy crap. He's like, hey, y'all come back out. And
did he go to dinner first?
Their lights and everything together. And so we went back out, and we were out there for, show him that. I don't know if you can
how
see.
to share this.
That's a scorpion.
We found scorpion.
Oh, cool.
That was like black lighted. You could black light it, but it's hard to see those. But I mean, we did end up finding a lot of bugs, and they were expecting to see rattlesnakes, and we never found one single rattlesnake. But in the process, Dave comes wandering back as we're looking at some bugs, and he has one of those ammo boxes. It was one of those like geocaching boxes. It says, do not remove from sight. And we're all like, dude, you're not supposed to do that. And he was like,
la down the trail with it.
And so we dug through it and stuff. And then he took off back into the woods. And all of a sudden it's pitch dark. It's black. And we've just got our lighting gear on. It's almost 9 o'clock at that point. And I'm like, where is Dave? And they're like, oh, he'll be back eventually. And we're like, okay, we've got to go, guys. Are y'all good? They're way bigger herpers than we are. And they're like, oh, we're good. We'll see y'all later, blah, blah, blah. So we took off, and then I'm like, I ended up talking to Dave the next day. He was lost in the woods. Wow.
Middle of a state park.
He ended up turning the wrong way. I think I know what he did. He came back out and thought he was going to get to one location. It wasn't the right place. And then I think he came back in and kind of dead ended on him. But I think he just took the wrong way. But he was fine. When I saw him walking by, I was like,
Thank
okay.
God. That's a national treasure that was at risk right there.
Yeah. But it was just funny that he picked that little geocache box up and like took off with it. We're like, it even says on the side of the box, don't remove it. So
what was the cache for? Was it giving away prizes
in there? Like I guess poems or something. I don't know.
Yeah. There's all kinds of, and I think people put things in there. I didn't see anything of value. It's just, I thought I saw some like stickers or something, but I don't know.
Geocaching is actually like a pretty cool hobby deep down inside.
If I would have known he was going to find one, we'd have brought some Herpin Harbins stickers or
just
patches.
something.
Yeah.
We should have stuffed something in there, but
maybe we should make our own geocache.
Yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Mm.
So that was fun. And we meant to post some pictures of some critters that we saw, but we suck at that. And we talk about it all the time. And then we're not really good. We're trying to do better, but
because we're not efficient at it, it takes a long time. And that really upsets both of us that it took us an hour to create a 30-second reel.
Yeah.
Well, once you get better at it, you will be better at it.
Yeah, I think I did that one today. And I was doing it in between rooms. I was done with seeing appointments this afternoon. I was like, I'm done. Y'all better be not on death's door. I got to get out of here. I can't mentally do any more thinking at this point. So in between rooms, I just did a quick little thing. I think it took me less than 10 minutes. It's not bad.
All right, good job. Yeah.
I'm getting better.
Sometimes like if you're doing a reel where you have to edit the timing and you're using the editor in Instagram, it's much worse than the editor in TikTok. So like, it's actually like, it sucks away time of your life. And then I'm just like, I should probably just take stills for a week to make up for the bullshit I just experienced. All right. So let's synopsize a little bit. It was a pretty good show for you and me and other people who had maybe a diverse offering, not necessarily just the high-end offering, because then you could target more kinds of people. So how many people should invest today in hognose snakes?
So
do you think there really will be too many hognose snakes also?
Here's my theory.
Okay.
They're not the easiest to deal with if you compare to ball pythons, which are, to me, very easy to deal with and reproduce and overall not worry about, I guess is the way I put that. Corn snakes are extremely easy, but their profitability is very low, even with the higher end corn snakes. I think, and do wonder sometimes as people are getting into hognose, and I did hear people talk about getting into hogs specifically to be diverse so they can get into shows.
Mhm.
I don't like that. That's why they're getting into them. They need to get into them because they're a cool species. But I do feel like they're just going to breed hognose and it's just going to be all la-di-da, no big deal. And it's not for the faint at heart, I guess.
Mhm.
They-
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to like decide how many of something the market will bear, because I don't know. You never know. The market could be like ever expanding,
and they may just be a fad. It may just be a trend that's going to fizzle in 5 years, but we'll still have some because we enjoy it.
And that could happen. I don't think as long as Emily and Ed are on YouTube that we're going to have to worry about that, because they promote the hognose so much that I think that's one reason with Snake Discovery, all of these teenage girls and young people that are getting hognose, I think it's opened up that area to people that didn't even know what hognose were. So I mean, I thank them greatly for their advertisement for all of us hognose breeders. And so I hope it doesn't go away. I don't think there's going to be a saturation of breeders either, because I think once some people get into it, it is a more complicated situation. It's a lot more stressful than the ball python situation. And I don't think a lot of people realize that it is a little bit harder to deal with. So
yeah, it can't be optimized in the way a ball python collection can be, because like you can't breed 1:8 or 1:10 breeding sex ratios. You can't.
1-2 is the best.
Yeah.
You pull that little male out after he's done. He's like a limp noodle.
Yeah, he's just hanging there. I'm like, oh, okay, buddy, let's go back in there. Yeah. And
that's how you know you had a good time, when you need CPR afterwards.
You didn't see the lock and he's limp. You're like, okay, you got it done, though, buddy. Good job.
Right, it's because they're mostly gonads and hemipenes attached to like a life support system. Like that's what it feels like the goal is for a male hognose.
That's all he's doing in life.
That's why, like, I think they don't really matter if she eats them in the wild, because all I need to do is sire a couple clutches, and then she's the like reproductive.
Yeah, she's the one cranking it all out.
Right. It's
frequently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm certain it does. Like, but then the funniest thing, I was repairing, which I don't usually repair. I said that, but I don't usually do that. But I did repair one pair this year, and that little male grabbed the female. He was so hungry.
That little shit.
I had to pluck him off of her, and he's just looking back like, "What is this thing on me?" It's like,
there must be a tick.
I thought she had a parasite or something.
Crazy.
That is ballsy.
Yeah, but I mean, we probably, if I sat down, I haven't sat down and looked at our numbers, but I know currently, like, breedable males we have more breedable males than we do breedable females. Now, next year it may skew a little bit because we've held back so many females, so that number may skew slightly. But even those males that aren't being used this year, they're not going anywhere, because I don't know if I need them next year for our numbers increasing. So we will have like one male that may pair 2 females, but we really don't push our boys. So.
Right. It's a different market, and it's good because it supports the price of males instead of males being literally worthless unless they're worth a lot. Like,
where in our ball pythons, I think we have like 6 breeding males to 26 breeding females. I mean, it's a completely different ratio. You know, I wouldn't dare do that to our poor hognose.
Right. It's just a different game. It just will be interesting to see how everything shakes out. Do you think you'll pair? I know you weren't going to pair corn snakes or pair them less.
The day that we got home after we sold
out.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, I think I'm going to go lock real quick, just to, you know.
Lock, and we'll see what happens. I mean,
right.
It was I don't know if I'll pair any other ones, but we did as soon as we got home Monday. We paired those. So.
Yeah, it's been a tough like spring for me, because I'm like, am I feeding them enough, pairing them enough? Because I'm like really discombobulated in terms of scheduling, and I'm just like, whatever eggs it gets is what I get. I'll get a lot. So it'll fine.
Yeah.
if they have slug out, it's fine. But like I am pairing them. But I had like melanistic Russian locks. I've had climax locks. I've had the hognose have been doing their thing.
Oh yeah,
like crazy as
Yeah.
always. They can't keep it in their pants, and he's like this because he can smell her. I'm like, I'm
yeah,
gonna
our
take you
boys
into a
were-
different room before you burn yourself out doing
Yeah.
treadmill stuff.
yeah. I was checking out one of our big males, and he was out in the front of the container like this, like looking. I was like, dude, she just laid eggs today. You're just so
I know.
You're not getting
You have to
anything.
wait.
He wants to make Irish twins out of her. It's like, come on, brother. So it is fine. It's just I hope some people can be ball python only specialists, but that puts you in a very specific camp
It
where
does.
maybe you need to like have high end, mid tier, and low tier that are in the low tier are attractive to pet keepers
Yeah.
to be ball python only. But it's
Yeah.
much easier to fill all those roles if you have different species.
I agree.
We've got to feed both camps. I mean, all of us were new keepers at some point, and we
Yeah.
started. I assume most people started off small. Maybe some people went bananas and bought the $10,000 thing as their first pet, but most people start off with a $100 animal or a $50 snake.
Yeah.
Right. And this show felt very intentionally or not for them.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of, I think that's why right now, because we do supply all those different ranges, that's why our show was better than some of these other guys. And
That's the same spread that we take to the local Knoxville shows.
Yeah, we
we
wouldn't
never
change
sell
it.
that much.
Yeah.
And it's a pet market, but we just don't get the foot traffic, and there's not as many vendors.
Yeah. Do you think you'll do less Knoxville shows or West Virginia shows just because you're like, I'm going to save up all my feelings for online or Dallas or Daytona?
we've already signed up for one of the Knoxville shows that I think is in June.
Okay.
And we've been doing a couple of Indianapolis shows, but they all literally fall on the same days as other shows. Like one actually fell on the Knoxville show, one fell on the Dallas show, and one fell like in almost like a holiday type thing. I said, well, I don't think we're going to do any more of those this year. I don't know with the West Virginia shows if we'll do those. It kind of depends on
Your schedule.
my schedule and when they fall compared to the shows that we're already signed up for. But I feel like we're always going to do the Knoxville shows because we want to have a local presence.
There's no hotels, hardly any travel. I mean,
it's no.
Yeah, that
expense.
part's nice. That makes the math different.
Yeah, it does. The other shows that we could travel just a little bit to would be what they call the Nashville show. It's really Lebanon, Tennessee. And they have a good venue there. Now,
Yeah,
I'd
that
like to
facility's
see
awesome.
more traffic, but that's a Show Me group. And they've done good at the shows as far as somewhat advertising it. But I'd see us doing like maybe some Nashville shows and maybe even going into North Carolina. We're looking at maybe doing like Charlotte, North Carolina. So there's we will still do other ones even outside those big shows.
at this phase, it's more like what show lines up with our our schedule.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future we can pick a circuit that we can stick to.
Yeah.
People ask us all the time, "What's the next show going to be?" And we're like, "We don't really know."
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I'm definitely in like my choice to be like, I'm doing bigger shows further away because like just bodies through the door is what sells things in the end.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when there's a crowd there, the rest of the crowd thinks, "Oh, I better buy something before somebody else does."
Yeah.
So there's a sense of urgency when there's a bigger crowd.
Right. These and they're like fine. The like sleepy country shows, they're fine. But like if it costs me $500 to be there and I can really only turn $500 over.
It doesn't make sense being there.
Yeah. The people who live right next to the venue, it's worth it for them to be there. But not for me, unfortunately. All right, Andrew has a question. Should you specialize in one or two hognose morphs, or should you run all the full gambit of possible
I want all of them. All
face the rainbow of hognose.
anything. I mean, we don't have all of them.
No, we don't. But there's a bunch of the morphs in hogs that just display visually as a pink snake. So, I don't think you need 7 different ways to get to a pink snake. They're cute. And there's certain morphs that I don't think blend beneficially with other morphs. Like for me, Arctic by itself is the pinnacle of Arctic. I've not seen anything that's blended with that I'm just completely blows my skirt up.
Like,
that's just me.
Yeah,
I'll
and
speak.
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, I think like we see people put Arctic with sunburst, and there may be 12 people on here that have that. I just can't stand it. Like, why would you take a gene like an albino plus sable to increase melanin and then come in and blast part of that out with a lightning gene? Unless you can make it super contrasty, which I haven't seen happen yet. I don't understand adding Arctic to a gene combo that's a darkening gene. So
the super Arctic sable albino will be cool. Like it'll be even more contrasty. So like a white background and oranger tiger stripes.
I'm like him, like a beautiful true Arctic. And we have shadow Arctic, which the shadow is a melanin increasing gene. So those saddles are they're like chocolate black almost. They're really, really dark. So when you get Arctic on there, you get that really stark white background with that really dark contrast. But I still prefer it in the regular pattern, not even the Conda pattern, because you get so much of that pattern alteration, just the contrast between it. So I think obviously go with morphs that you love, because another example, there's albino, and then there's some other albinisms out there, like your albinisms, like your toffee belly and your hypos and stuff like that. I love toffee belly. Like, I want toffee belly in everything.
Yeah, in
my pockets.
It's like a Werther's original. She brings out a toffee belly.
Love it.
She with the little old lady with the purse handing out.
Yeah. But like hypo has some similar things, but we have zero hypo here. I just
fuck hypo.
It doesn't blow my skirt up in the hognose world. And so I think obviously picking the morphs that you love. But I do think you need to have a variety of hognose, because
if you're all like albino homozygotes, it kind of does look like all albinos homozygotes.
We've got like one tier of normals, then one tier of albinos, then one tier of axanthics. Those three just stand out from each other so much, and then you splash in the different condas.
Yeah,
it really looks like you've got a ton of different stuff, but there's only 3 genes there.
Yeah, and then you start getting like sable, and then you start getting lemon ghost stuff. And you'll see people point out, oh, that one's got much darker brown, or this one's got yellows in it. And so then you can talk to him about it. And then people will like the Arctics, and they like that combination of contrast. And so I do think as a hognose breeder, you need to have a variety pack of stuff if you're going to do it. And you don't have to have a ton. I think like Shane, he's got Arctic stuff, albino stuff. He's got axanthic and snow and all kinds of mixtures of that. That doesn't sound like a lot, but there's so many different combinations. You're going to hit a lot of different people with that. And he doesn't necessarily have to branch out into the, 10 other recessive.
I was going to send it lavender too.
Lavender.
So he's feeling lavender now.
And it depends on the family of lavender. I've seen some lavenders that I'm like, meh. But then I've seen some that have like really, really rich, like almost pinkishes in them, and some really true purples in them. And so I do.
Yeah, some of them are like pale.
Pale, yeah, they're washed out too much for me, in some families. And so we have potential for lavender this year, and so we're hoping for that. But I'm hoping that Daytona, we have just a color variety of stuff more than we've had before, because we just see too many people pointing at different things on the table. And I think there's just enough variation that you kind of cover everybody.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. What's up, Mission Morphs? Sorry, I was busy.
There it is.
And then they said hi to Josh and Alicia. They saw you outside the hotel. They were with Brian and Zach.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully there was a bunch of people who were like, I want to come on. And I was like, come on whenever. Split Rock came by and said hi. They're cool. Burning Ember came by and said hi. Shout out. Everybody who came by and said hi. I love all of you deep down inside. It just was like hard to pay attention, and I was trying to engage emotionally, and then I wasn't. Then I was gone.
It was a lot.
What's up,
That's
Lisa?
Driving out to the shows far away, though, we kind of spread our network out, because you'll see a lot of people comment here and there, but when you can associate a face to a name, that's more fun.
Yeah,
I know. And the hardest part is they know who I am. I don't know who they are at all. And
you know the name, but you don't know their face.
Right, I know their logo.
Comments, their logo or something, but you don't know the face that goes to that.
Right, so that's good to finally like put stuff together.
Nice. Yeah, we met several people like that too that we've been talking on one of our Patreon groups where they're like, oh, now we know what you look like. It's like
I don't know why that matters, but it
I don't know,
does.
it's so silly in it. But we're more likely on our Instagram posts, we put pictures of us together. So people a lot of times know what we look like, but some Instagrams, you don't ever see that person. You don't know what they look like.
Right.
So,
Right.
for us, we're like, who is that? I was like, oh, that's that person.
Names. I want to give out like the stickers at the show says, "Hi, my name is so and so."
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you just know this. There's a Herp show vendor that'll like sell you 3D printed, literally like reusable pinned, like, "Hi, I'm with this company. My name is blah blah blah," and you can just put it on every shirt. And I'm like, probably need that. And like for kids, track kids, put an air tag on it.
Put an air tag on it. Well, he made us off one of his laser printer. He laser printed our name tag and it's a little magnetic thing. We just pop it on when we get to the shop. Laser cutter. I don't know what I called it. Anyway, one of his machine things that he does.
Laser tag would be fun too. I'm in.
Yeah, but and then we just pop it on and we keep it in our little show kit. So it's
I need that. And I also need like a helper. Like I'm the breeder, I'm the helper. And so people will be like this person can check me out, but maybe don't ask them. Like my poor husband. Sometimes he's like,
setting up
he'll have a boa. He calls it a ball python. I'm like, he's so cute.
Right.
Yeah.
Friend helping. Anyway.
Yeah, Brian did have somebody helping until.
All right, I have a new question. What about this crazy question? What if I buy another table and it's just a lounge?
You know, I think it's a great idea. I mean, I think it would
talking
make
like fluffy chairs, coffee maker. You just have to be a subscriber. And
that would be perfect.
Velvet rope.
Yeah.
Like the Delta Lounge at the airport.
Yeah. Because that's how I felt. Awesome. I was like, I need a break walking from the back of the building to the front of the building.
Yeah, you have to get the little, I like that little tag. Like you have to get in and out the little pass there. And that'd be fun. I think that'd be fun.
That'd be kind of good.
Right. I don't know if he'll give me one for such a dumb reason, though.
They don't know why you're getting that table. You just get an extra table.
Yeah, okay. I got a corner, so because but you're gonna have. If I add an extra one to it, I'm like they have to be beside each other. I just like take the table away, throw it away, or maybe leave it there. But like, I just chairs behind there, chairs, comfy couches.
There was no
bean bags.
There wasn't any place to hang out like that.
They actually should probably offer that as a accessibility type thing. People might need to take a rest.
Yeah, or even like just benches or
something.
Yeah, a lot of shows they'll have like a place to sit down and eat near the eating place. Was there seats anywhere near the concession stand?
I didn't see any, but
now that you say it, I don't know.
I don't recall seeing any benches or seating or tables anywhere. So
right.
I don't know where people. I saw people just walking around eating. You know, like
right. It was tough. That's why, like, and it's fine. Like Jennifer and her family and Marissa and her family, they would come and like camp behind my table, which I was like, good, great, because it was hard to like, I don't know, put your stuff down and decompress somewhere or eat or whatever.
Yeah.
So if there was more like lounges or something, benches, maybe people would like. I don't know. Stay longer. Let's put it that way. Stay longer.
Yeah. They'd be less likely to just take off out of the building.
Right. And go eat or.
I mean, after walking around on concrete for a while, you're kind of getting tired of it. Yeah. So.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking, and my husband was like, no, you're dumb. But I was like, you're wrong. Because at most trade shows, you could put those like snap together flooring that's rubber.
Yeah.
And it could be wood grain. It could be very classy.
You could make it pretty fancy
this lounge could be so awesome.
You could even bring like a little light that kind of hangs over it. You know, you can make it all
right.
I love the trade show booths that have the carpet, and then under it they've got just a little bit of foam.
Yeah,
right. And you're like, this is a relief. I will browse your whatever.
Yep.
That would be
vinyl siding for the next 20 minutes.
We should have like turned our applications in together so we could have been in line together. Like maybe they could have put us next.
Is that how that works?
I think a lot of times if you go in together and you can ask for like booth areas together, I mean, that's how we set up with Tom, but I didn't even think about that. We were in the middle of going ahead and getting the application in, and it was already VIP time. Josh and Tom went off to go get the application submitted. And then I was like, I didn't even think about after the fact, like, man, we should have put more of us.
What time did you do it? Sunday morning?
We did it Saturday morning.
Yeah, I didn't do it till Sunday because I was confused.
You
Yeah.
could
about what I
always
was doing.
call them and ask.
Yeah.
Worst case, they say no. Best case, they
Right,
say
that'd be fun.
That
It's
would be
just
fun to
maybe
do.
because I'm a corner and he's an end cap. I talked to him a little bit. He's like, "How did you do when I was paying on Sunday?" And I'm like, "I did great because I sell corn snakes, by the way."
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, "Great." And I bring out my like stripper wad, right? And I'm handing him his money. And I was like, "Can I be a corner?" He's like, "Yeah, because we're gonna make corners out of a lot of the rows."
Okay.
I was like, "Oh, good," because then you don't have to walk as far down
That long stretch, yeah.
So it's going to be different shape. So maybe each pod will not be as long, if that makes any sense. So maybe we
Yeah,
can be
I
like
like that
into
idea.
a pod.
Yeah, we had a guy buy 5 animals and paid with mostly $5 bills. And I said,
Wow.
5. Like, how do you get so many 5s? He goes, well, I sell rodents on the side. I'm like,
Oh, okay, that makes perfect sense, actually.
Yeah.
Not actually that creepy.
yeah. Where have those been?
Yeah, like that's kind of
There
weird.
was some chairs left of the stand. Those like tall chairs.
Huh.
And casting couches. Definitely need those. 100%. No, I do. I was just saying, like, there's obviously a demand for seating for everybody. Every kind of person would maybe spend more time there
I just read her.
if they let's not talk about the water snake. I want to bury that memory in my heart. Ugh.
That sounded hideous.
Okay. Any other thoughts? Final thoughts?
I can't think of anything.
We're definitely going to buy a UV flashlight so we can find those scorpions. I got a kick out of that. I thought that was cool.
Yeah. And the state park was pretty close.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it was close.
When I heard you went herping with Dave, I was like, "Are you going on Monday or something, and then leaving on Tuesday?"
We just
you just went at night.
Just went at night in the dark. You know,
okay.
In a weird, strange place in the dark.
We've been to all the state parks in our area, and we can't find an Eastern to save our life. They're supposed to be everywhere over here, but they're hard to find. So when we knew we were in Dallas, we were in Western Hognose country. Like, we're going to try to go find one.
Yeah. But we've been happy just to find a rattlesnake or just something, just anything. But
we didn't even find a lizard.
No.
You have power line right of ways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would walk those and train tracks for hognose, which sounds stupid, right? And you're like, that's stupid. But usually like the train tracks are like the bottom of the valley and they're like right next to creeks. And so and they'll have vernal pools that toads will use. Every time I've seen a hognose, it's been next to water.
Yeah.
And it's usually on a train track. That's what I would, and I would walk the wet side of the hill mountain.
Yeah.
On a whatever they do spray, which is gross, but whatever, you got to do what you got to do. But if you walk the wet side or walk the bottoms of public right of ways, don't get shot or whatever. You can find them there sometimes too. Yeah. A really good big female Eastern hognose is like the most exciting thing to find.
And this is what we want to find. And I think they're a little bit more south of us, so we're going to have to go down closer to Chattanooga. We hear more people spotting them down there than we do in this area. But we just want to find stuff like that. So we're going to go out. We'll go out probably in the next couple of weeks.
Good luck. Like, especially a big female. I feel like they're even bigger than Westerns. I don't know if
they definitely are. They're long and just thick,
Yeah. You pick them up and they're like, I don't know, a fist-sized female.
Yeah, they're hefty. Yeah.
We've got a contact in Virginia. He has some wild-caught Easterns he was trying to breed. I think he got a clutch out of them, but I don't think he got them to eat.
Yeah.
Which is their number one difficulty.
Yeah. I mean, he was out trying to get, I think, some like newts and stuff like that to feed them, just to get them started, because he was struggling with getting them going. I don't know. We haven't talked to him in a while to find out how that went.
I think some old folks on fauna have like F3s. So like you can do it and teach them to do it. It's just like, I don't know how many hogs you have to go through to get there.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it. That you were so popular this week. We were running you like the village pony.
We survived.
I feel like the village pony. It's
We're
okay.
just
We're all
excited
the
to have
village
attention.
pony now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we did it. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
to Chile. My husband at some point was like, dinner's done.
Yeah. Ding ding. Time to
Yeah.
go eat.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you, Andrew, Jennifer, Mission, everybody, ever. Bye.
Bye.
See you next week. Oh, no auction tomorrow, by the way, also. I canceled it because they all sold out, basically. And I moved Brett, who was almost sold out, to the next one. So June 1st. Because the market's not dead or something. I don't know, whatever. All right, bye.